Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, and I am at the end of the final day of my pilgrimage, and this is a very, very special video that I'm making here, and I'm recording it at about 1 o'clock in the morning in the Armenian church, which is part of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is the holiest church in the world. It is, for a Christian, the holiest spot in the world is the empty tomb of Christ. And the Church of the Holy Sepulchre encompasses both the empty tomb of Christ and also Calvary, which is the hill upon which the cross stood, upon which Christ died. And I'm in that church now. I'll get to why in a bit, but I'll talk about the day. We woke up in the morning in Ein Karem, which is, of course, where John the Baptist was born. Woke up about 7, had breakfast there, had a chat with the niece of the Polish custodian, and also a Palestinian Christian lady from Bethlehem, who gave us a number, and we may contact her again when we're in Bethlehem. Nelly, her name was. But then Yael and Golan, they went ahead to sort the cars out, and Feryal and I walked, and we walked through a beautiful valley. The sun was shining. It was a magical morning. I mean, firstly, all around Ein Karem there was animals. There's dogs, donkeys, geese, so many cats. And it's because St. Francis of Assisi, a Franciscan establishment, loved animals. And that the kind of nature theme continued. I played Bells of Norwich and sang Brother Sun, Sister Moon, and we're walking through this gorgeous valley that could have been on Camino, it could have been in Umbria. And actually, I talked to Feryal and I told her the story of St. Francis, and she'd never heard of him before. She didn't know about him. And there's a particular song that she's found powerful for the entire pilgrimage. And it was a song that I thought, oh, that's Hebrew, but it's like some Yemenite Hebrew. It's this Yemenite Jewish song, and the lady who sings it, I'll put her name in the chat, but I think it's off for something. She's dead now, but she was a peace activist, and it's all about unity and peace, and it really touched Feryal's heart. It's a beautiful song. And she was singing it, and she translated it to English. She tried to sing it in Hebrew, and she also translated bits to Arabic. And she was in floods of tears. Because I guess we were getting to the culmination of what this is all about, and in the end we stopped to kind of gather ourselves at the head of the valley. We've been climbing for an hour or so, and it was this garden that we made, and it turned out it was made in honor of a guy called Raoul Wallenberg, who was a Swedish man who was a righteous Gentile who'd saved thousands of Jews through the Swedish embassy in Budapest during the war. But then after the war, he was captured by the Soviets and never seen again. And they say he died in prison in 1947. And there was a quote on there from the Sanhedrin about, he who saves a single life saves the whole world. And apparently the same quote's in the Quran. And it really touched, well, both Feryal and I was in tears too. And then we walked through the city of Jerusalem. We walked past Yad Vashem. But even though we were in the city, I don't know, it was a bit like when I walked into Santiago. I felt very happy. It was great. We just walked through the city, and there was, people, there was Jews and Muslims there. We stopped to get some money at the bank, and then as we were walking down through the gardens, we came to the cafe where Yael and Golan were. And it wasn't just a cafe, it was a community centre. It was a not-for-profit place run by this wonderful lady called Tanya, who we were talking to, and also a tour guide called David, who Golan had known for years. They told us about that ethos and how they made it affordable and how they encouraged the whole community to be there and how it's based on equality and tolerance. It was wonderful. And then we walked on, and Golan walked mostly with Feryal because he was telling her his story. And I walked with Yael, and we were talking again about Martha and Mary. Martha and Mary keep coming up, and just about pilgrimage. It was fantastic, and I never noticed being tired. It was so wonderful. But as we were coming in, and we walked past a Persian synagogue, which really moved Feryal. She said the energy was really powerful there, and through this bizarre area, a lot of Haredi Jews there. And then we walked down the main street. I forget the name of it in West Jerusalem, and as we were getting towards the old city, we could hear music, and there was a lady playing guitar, and she was singing beautifully Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, which is a song that's been in my head for the whole pilgrimage, and I've even composed verses of it suitable for the pilgrimage. I was in tears. I was in floods of tears, and we all were. And when she'd finished, she said, "I just think what come into my head, and now felt like the time to sing that song." She says, "And the amount of times people stop and they tell me like I've sang their song just as they were passing." She had a gift. And then we walked on. We got to the old city. So the New Jerusalem prepared as a bride for her husband, and we walked through the Jaffa Gate together. And then we had a lovely surprise because we went into the tourist office and we were presented with our Compostellas, and they gave us a little gift each. And we met Thomas at the Jaffa Gate as well, and it was brilliant. And that was the pilgrimage. Except it wasn't, because then we continued further, and we went. We were going to the Franciscan custodian to the Holy Land to get another stamp on the passport, even though we got the Compostela, because their stamp's brilliant. And we stopped at the Jerusalem Santa, who's a friend of Yael and Golan. His name's Isa, from the Holy Land, and he stopped to make a little video with us and welcomed us. And it was brilliant. And then we went to the custodian to the Holy Land, and we met the monk who had been at the concert the other night and got a stamp, and we had he gave us a chocolate in his office. And then what I had to do is, Muslim tradition, apparently if you come to Jerusalem, you're meant to go straight to pray in Al-Aqsa quickly. So we went to where Feryal stayed, which is a nunnery, had a quick shower, and then I took her to Al-Aqsa, and she prayed in Al-Aqsa, and we went and had some like baklava and stuff and a coffee, and then afterwards went straight to the Holy Sepulchre, because what we've done, we've arranged to be locked in overnight, and they only allow about 20 odd people a day to do it. The Franciscans sort it out. Before I came to Jerusalem, I couldn't get the list was already full, but because of the war, because of the crisis at the moment, we're the only ones. So apart from the priests and a Russian nun, we are the only ones in the holiest church in the world, and we were literally left on our own to pray at the tomb of Christ. And Tom and I knelt together, father and son, in the tomb of Christ for like over an hour, and we were sitting and talking by the tomb of Christ. You know, it's the holiest place in the world, and I was able to commune with my son there, and then, you know, we also had some time alone in there as well. And then we've just been just in this incredible place, the silence, and it's wonderful. And now the Greeks, so they divide the night up into 3 parts, and the first part was the Catholic part, which is why we could pray there. Now the Greeks are having their liturgy, but the Armenian priest came round and it's just said, look guys, there's a part of the church that's not open to the public. Do you want to look at it? And he gave us this. He took us down to this chapel that was totally lost until 1960. It was rediscovered by accident, and it's not open to the public because although the Armenians control it, it disturbs the status quo, and the Syriacs claim it. And so it's just not open to the public. And we were allowed to go into this chapel, and he showed us all these amazing things. We had his name's Lawson. He's from near Yerevan, and we just feel so blessed. We've seen parts of the church that nobody else sees. Wow. It's what an end to an incredible pilgrimage. I just feel everybody has blessed us so much, from the Israeli embassy that helps, to just different friends on the way, Yael and Golan themselves, and now this Armenian priest of all people. Wonderful, wonderful. And so we're going to spend the rest of the night here, and then I guess the pilgrimage ends, because in a way it doesn't, because we're going to Bethlehem for midnight mass tomorrow. We'd even forgot Christmas was happening. This has been so momentous. It's a Camino, but it's so different from Santiago one. It's just different. It's wonderful. So this is me, Uncle Travelling Matt, still trying to get his head around it all. From the holiest church in the world, I'm alone in this glorious building, saying, keep travelling, and please, please, stay on the path.
Hey.